Managing boundaries. What a topic, and with so much involved. Over the last few weeks, we've been somewhat building up to this because it is so complicated and it is so tough for so many of us. At the same time, it is simple to do once we understand a few things and get over certain discomforts. It involves how we think about and talk to ourselves as much as it concerns our interactions with others. As much or more about what we expect of ourselves than what others expect of us. And often far more about the grace that we give ourselves to be human than the judgment of those around us. My name is Mozella Perry Ademilui, and here is this week's edition of Have It All, Your Mountain newsletter. Each week, I give you ways to have what you want, make the difference you came here to make, and love the life you live. Today, we will discuss managing boundaries and how by feeling, setting, and honoring your boundaries, you can support yourself to climb the mountains of your dreams. Now, here is the thing. Your boundaries are important because they protect your time and even more crucially, your energy. You are busy, or lead a full life as I like to call it, and that's not likely to change anytime soon. Things and people are pulling you in all sorts of directions on a daily basis, also unlikely to change anytime soon. Yet a day only has 24 hours in it, which just won't change. And your energy is limited, though there are some techniques that you can use to increase it, which we will get to later. The fact of the matter is that we live in a time when the lines have been blurred. The lines between our personal, our social, and our professional lives don't have the same clear distinctions that they used to. Not by choice, but in some respects, by chance. Communication technologies have shifted rapidly over the last few decades, and with that, the birth of what is often which is often referred to as an urgency culture. The separation between our homes and offices have become smaller, and our community can reach us in either all the time. In my journey, I've realized that implementing boundaries requires us to plan, commit to it, and communicate it effectively with those around you. And what if setting boundaries is more about grace than hard lines? Could the trick lie in small, consistent actions rather than grand gestures of control? Sure, it might mean saying no a little more often to reclaim your peace. But it will also mean that when you do say yes, you do it with the ability to be fully present and give it your all. And so how do we redefine these boundaries, ensuring that they are respected not only by others, but ourselves? Picture it. Being at a point where work worries can't invade your dining room table, and personal stressors don't spill into office hours. And when you carve out that time for your own mental, physical, and spiritual well-being, neither of these two can get a foot in the door, push their way in, and take over. Wouldn't you like to explore what it feels like to have that sort of mental space and clarity? Do you want to know what it takes to design such a space? Well, first of all, I like to think of creating a boundary as creating a safe space for a particular type or set of activities. Consider the notion of boundaries not as limitations, but as protective spaces. These are not walls of restrictions, but zones of nurturing where productivity and joy can coexist. When was the last time you felt truly at peace with how your time was divided? Once the reframe is in place, comes the question of how to make the divisions. We all strive to excel, balance, and thrive, yet sometimes our ambitions overshadow our needs. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, where do you draw the lines between your work, social, and personal life? Operating in survival mode feels like treading water in a stormy sea. I want to shift from merely surviving to truly living. But how do we reconcile our ambitions with the need for internal harmony? Perhaps it starts by asking ourselves, what fills our cup? Are we making space for the simple joys that renew us daily? Knowing and respecting your needs in terms of rest and fuel are of the utmost importance. These are often the first things that come off our list when the time gets tight, but are also the things that allow us to operate at our best. Then it is looking at the rest of what lies before you and learning to prioritize. What do you find the most important? And I want you to really think about it right here. Separate the things that you were scared of, the irrational fears that plague all of us and drive us off course. Don't act from fear of failure, because failure is just a learning experience. Don't be driven by an aim for perfection, because as we discussed a few weeks ago, perfection does not exist and is the enemy of good, hard-won progress. In my experiences and conversations with others, I've noticed how the need for everything to be perfect can paralyze progress, leading to stress and stagnation. It took me a while to embrace the notion of good enough. It involves setting realistic standards rather than aiming for the unattainable. Don't act in fear of disappointing others, because you will anyway. It happens, and adults can manage their own disappointment. It is not your responsibility to guide them through it. Besides, often the people who we are worried about disappointing are grateful for your honesty, your vulnerability, and candor for two major reasons. They know what to expect, and they are shown that vulnerability and boundaries are okay. Boundaries crafted with purpose act as the compass, pointing us toward our true north. When we create well thought out boundaries, we do it based on a deep understanding of our needs, the needs of those in our community, the needs of our work. And we commit to honor those needs by giving them the proper time, and during that time, our most complete focus, energy, and attention. Emotional clarity stems not from doing more, but from being present in each moment. Every time we set a boundary, we make a promise to protect what truly matters. It's an emotional investment in ourselves and our responsibilities. Our brains split between our rationality and our emotions can lead us down paths of overcommitment. But it does not have to be this way, because you have the power to choose. And remember, boundaries are not sculpted overnight. They are conversations, gentle nudges, building a framework where energy is conserved, not depleted. So from time to time, remember to ask yourself, am my boundaries or lack thereof empowering or enslaving me? They don't have to be perfect. Almost nothing ever is. What's important is that you are having the conversation with yourself. What parts of your life could benefit from a bit more respect and less hustle? My guess, all of them. For our upgraded members, the next video will tell you exactly what you can and must do to manage your boundaries more effectively. It will walk you through some powerful activities that will guide you to gaining a better understanding of your needs and help you to map out and set the boundaries that will get you from where you are to where you want to be.